Welcome to 5 a.m. Tuesday, where we unlock the power of choice to shape and transform your life one Tuesday at a time. I'm Brenda, mindset coach, speaker, author, and your host. We discuss everyday topics on here, but with a fresh perspective. And whether you hear something brand new or you get a timely reminder of what you already know, I believe there is no mistake you're here. Hello again, listeners. Well, I am delighted to be introducing Filipo Levi to you today because Filipo has captained a number of local and international rugby teams. Now, this was from 2000 to 2013, and only a handful of captains have actually faced the All Blacks haka, and Filipo as captained Manu Samoa, was one of them. So you've faced it head on, right, Filipo, that beautiful haka. So Filipo understands through all his experiences what it takes for teams to perform in high pressure situations. You know, playing against some of these teams and players around the world, the Crusaders, the Blues, Fiji, Australia, England, Wales, Scotland, not finished yet, Japan, and France. So he's experienced that sheer physical and mental intensity that's needed to face some of those monumental challenges. Now, the exciting piece is that Filipo has translated these experiences into his book, which is called Tackle Your Success, and some high performance programs which he runs throughout organizations. And he really helps his clients unleash their leadership and their team's true potential and paves the way towards the personal and the professional success that they're seeking. And that's part of why I've got you on here, Filipo, to really talk about, I think, this pivot that you've made throughout your career. But thank you so much for joining me today.
Right, I'm always grateful to. Hey, it's always good to see smiley faces in the morning. I mean, I've known you for a number of years, so it's always, I've always said, you hang out with people who are positive, who have got a great mindset, growth mindset. People, you've always made me sort of, think positively about what I'm doing, and really, really caring for others. So that's why I say yes to come and say to add some value to your podcast.
Oh, well, yay for us and yay for the listeners, because I've been in one of your audiences, and where was I recently that they were doing this? Oh my gosh, I should. So when we rub our hands together and then we clap. So it's like you really engaged us and got us excited. And I know that your messages are really powerful. So as I said, one of the things I'd love to jump in and ask you about is the end of your professional rugby career and how you really went on to navigate the transition into something new, because I'm sure it was quite daunting at times.
Oh, of course, if you've done something from a young age, from about 20 years old, and you dreamed of becoming All Black or becoming a professional player in New Zealand, that's one thing you want to do, right? So you're going against another 100,000 other same age, athletes across the country. So being in Dunedin, growing up in Dunedin, it's a small little world down there. So I guess when you sort of make it down there, because you go to school there, it's a big thing, because in Dunners it's a small town. Everyone, they know what you've done. They know all the stupid things you've done. They know the great things you've done as well. But also, for me, going into the world of professional sports, it was a journey, going through that journey, and after 13 years of getting paid what you love, and but also you also get hurt, also get physically bashed up, and that's what people don't realize. You get a lot of money, but would you want to go into a rugby field and get bashed up by 150 kg Springbok or South African or a Frenchman? Is that what you want to do?
No, thank you.
Exactly. So people say, envious of it. Yeah, well, you've got to train. That's why we are professional athletes. We get to train, safe techniques and ensuring that we can find the best strategy to try and win the game. So at the end of my career, it was, it's tough. And I guess like most people understand, understand the feeling of losing a job, but also when just time just stops.
Mm.
You know, think back at lockdowns,
Yeah.
just stuck at home, don't know what to do. And that's the similar feeling to what happens when you finish a rugby contract. There's no one there to knock on your door, no one texting you, no one calling you, no one harassing you to get to training or to meetings or get to fitness tests or go to a promo for an ad on TV or radio or go talk to a school. There's none of that at all. Time stops.
Yeah.
So if you think about that feeling of losing something, you do go through that mourning period. It's you've lost someone. It's not just like you're losing someone in your family or something, but it's very similar because you've
Mm.
lost your identity, right? And so yeah, so those are the feelings, and you go through a lot of mixed emotions and a bit of a roller coaster. Um, so in your own mind, you'll go through this whole whirlwind of things you've never thought about. So what the, you're thinking
Mm.
really negativity. You've grown up in a high performance environment, right? And all of a sudden, you're actually fighting against yourself. You're fighting against your own mind. There's no protective walls. The walls have fallen down. You're left open into the four elements of the weather. So, and I guess for me, I went through that struggle for only for a few months because there were guys who really cared for me and my family cared for me, but they don't understand what you're going through.
No.
Uh, so it is a personal battle, first of all, and what I had to do was really had to take control of
Yeah.
my own mindset, of my own thought patterns, my attitude in terms of facing this. Because hey, geez, if I can face the haka, surely I can surely I can face this. But if
Yeah,
it's
and that must have gone through your mind a few times. It's a little bit like me. I remember doing a personal development course once when I walked on fire. And it's like, if I can walk on fire, surely I can do anything. I'm not sure I could face the haka. Not if I was seriously in a role where they are, I'm sure I could if it was fun, but for you it was a real thing. So yeah. So that mindset piece was just so huge for you then during that process.
oh, definitely, definitely. And I know I've gone through. We go through positive. We go through sort of positive affirmations through training, through when the old crap hits the fan. What do you do
Mm.
now? What's plan A? What's plan B? What's plan C? This is when you sort of, yeah, you're sort of just falling, a bit of a free fall, and you got to find a place to land. So
Yeah.
I guess when you're falling down and you don't know when it's going to stop. It starts with up here, and it came down to really looking at the moments where people came to your life. So you know it's probably godsend, probably prayers were answered, or of people coming into my life in those moments, so, and when you really look into it and say, wow, they actually came in the right time, because if they weren't there, if they didn't text, if they didn't meet for a coffee or something, then I don't know, I would have ended up free falling, for longer. So it's how to sort of find those moments, find those people who care for you,
Yeah.
and those that you trust, because many people offer so many things to you and offer the world, and you want to know what's the whole reason, or why they're asking me, you know
Mm.
why they come to you. So you really have to really sort of discern, look at those people and say, hey, no, let's get rid of these people. Let's focus on the guys who've been there from the start.
Mm. And I'm sure there's an element of not always easy to accept help. When you've been in such a senior role, you're the one guiding your team as a captain. And all of a sudden, it's you requiring some support. That must have been a huge change.
Yeah, that's huge. I think it's like most things is, you're growing up in New Zealand, or myself being Samoan as well. So being from a very collective society or culture as Samoan, but also growing up in New Zealand, you got to take, it's the old attitude of they should be right.
Yeah.
That's ingrained in the societal norms of New Zealand, and in some ways it's Pacific culture as well. It's like, just hush hush, just hide the problems to yourself, sort of thing,
Yeah.
because you don't want to, you don't want to be the one that's going to let the whole tribe down. Because in terms of the Western ways, it's quite individualized, which is just the way it is. It's your collective societies versus a very very individual sort of society, which is common. Everyone knows that, and so going through my own mindset, of I got to take charge. I can't shame my family. You got to think about all those people who helped you, who, now they're thinking, mate, what's happening now? What are you doing now? So
Yeah.
it's an individual battle, but there are people there that if you observe and you just trust your instincts,
Yeah.
and really, and also to your partner, listen to your wife. If men,
Listen to your wife. Oh, I love that. There you go.
your wife or for your partner. But that's just my experience, though, because I mean, most men don't listen, and that's that's the problems of why we have all these health issues with men. It's the universal,
Yeah.
mental
Yeah.
health issues, physical health issues. We apparently die 10 years younger than female. So this is all scientifically proven, right? So it's not only one study, it's thousands of studies. So come back to so I'm trying to, in terms of what my thinking, so yeah, so it is about that battle. It is about taking personal responsibility of actually going through those steps, because I'm quite a big picture, guys. I want to get there. I want to get there. I want to go smash someone. Let's go. I want to get. I want to get that. I want to go smash Richie McCaw. Go get him. And if I don't get him, then he's going to steal the ball, and then they'll probably score a try. So, which happened on many occasions. Yeah. So it's about setting a goal, setting a target, but taking those small steps.
Yeah, what a different life you live now. And I know that there are many listeners who are facing their own career pivots right now, a career coming to an end or a job coming to an end, that will really appreciate that reminder to let your friends help you, allow yourself to remember all the positives about you, but also, what perhaps with some of the quite transferable skills that you notice. If you look at the work that you're doing now with helping others, you've really harnessed all of your learnings. So what was quite transferable, just to give our listeners who are facing that some hope?
I think the most important thing was to reach out, and whoever's close by, reach out to those who you trust and talk to them, and then and which I did. And then when I did that, I led on to another thing, by being introduced to a careers advisor. And I was, and here's me, 30. How old am I? I was 33 then. Yeah, 33 years old. It was about 10 years ago, and I'm still 30. So, so yeah, so I met the person, met the careers advisor. Went for a process for about a few weeks, and it was a bit like, oh, this is a bloody waste of time, wasting my time. But the good thing was that the New Zealand Players Association were paying for it. So,
Yeah.
hey, I've paid you fees in the past. Where's all the money gone to? So I guess they got, I guess they'll they also have a responsibility for players, after sports, probably not so much then, but more so now because of the high rate of mental health issues with men and female athletes as well, and a lot of health issues. So met the careers advisor, and went for the process, and then I started to open my world view in terms of where I could fit my sports values, sports ethos, sports performance into a team context.
Mm.
So, and it went down to different industries, so aligning your industries. And, if you had there were certain cards you play with, and you align things together and you bunch them up, and all of a sudden you have a bit of a framework of, hey, everything starts to fit a wee little puzzle, a pattern or patterns, right? And that pattern associates with what you've been thinking over those last few weeks through the questioning and through the activities. And so formulating that, I was able to come up with the industries I wanted to work in. I had a plan. I love plans. I had key people contacts I needed to contact straight away. She also made my CV. I never had a CV before.
Wow, yes, of course.
Yeah, so all the CV was 13 years of smashing people, and yeah, smashing people, and yeah, and having a good time. So, uh, so
Traveling
yeah,
the world, traveling the world.
yeah, and yeah, so putting all those values and all my skills, bit of education I did study throughout my career as well. So and I was able to apply that to certain industries as well, and that led me to working in education.
Yeah, yeah. And I know you've worked with some great teams because spend some time following what you do. And the other thing I noticed on your website, and I'm sure this happens quite naturally because of your circle of influence, is the RUBC, helping
Oh
other
yeah,
athletes prepare for life after sports. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about that.
yeah. It's so probably so I work in education in South Auckland. That was an eye opener. I've never worked in South Auckland. Never really worked in Auckland at all. By working there, working with adult students, after a couple of years, I went to a charter school for about 4 years. I was able to market that, promote the school, and then I left around 2018 to start this, start my speaking and training and coaching business. And so after a few months, I thought, hey, how can I help other athletes get into business?
Mm,
Because I understand how it is as an athlete transitioning into a professional corporate career or into work life. So I wanted to create something. Say, hey, this is a safe place. You can come share your journey with your family. You can share some insights into your own career. And also help others who are on their journey as well, finding their place in the world, and where they can, use their talents in a different way, and
mm.
to the community and also society as well in the country. So that was a big picture, because when I try to start a business, like, oh, how do you start a business? And then I did do some qualifications at sort of right through the Highlanders. I did a small planning certificate, which was fun. Did it together, but after 10 years, you forgot all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like, oh, okay. So I started this sort of social enterprise in 2018, and we had a soft launch in 2019 up in town at Barfoot Thompson. So about probably about 15, 20 people there. Former teammates, some business owners and professionals. So yeah, so it started from then on, and then I had a few events over the years, but it's only a social enterprise. It's not about making anything. It's just like, hey, to get people in the room to share share the journey, share the mental, physical, social, cultural challenges once you're done.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
yeah, so there's some of the events have been really quite emotional. You've got partners crying, you've got so because I'm asking questions, and I got to be really careful when you ask questions, because it can take them down through that sort of that chaotic period in their life.
Mm.
So it's about managing that, and also hearing their journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm really hearing you loud and clear throughout this entire discussion. That whole leaning into the people you know. You just said again about, inviting people along to an event like that. And we are all on the planet to support each other, right? And I think, I've noticed that about you, that you are surrounded by a lot of people and very connected. And I think one of the things I'd say to listeners, especially if you are going through a major career change, think about who you know. Write down 100 names of who you know and who you can talk to about your current situation and what you're looking for. Go and meet for people. Don't isolate. Just get out there. Um, Gosh, what else? I think I'd love to circle back to the mindset piece. And given that this is 5 a.m. Tuesday and it's all about helping people make better choices,
Yeah.
what's perhaps a final piece of wisdom that you'd love to leave with people who are perhaps facing a change or a struggle?
Yeah, I sort of share sort of a framework about change. So I call this a sort of that, and it's through my book as well, through the Tackle Your Success Principles. But it begins with your first sort of piece of what I mentioned today in the talk was about taking personal your personal responsibility, in terms of what you need to do. So, really write down, because when you're in a bit of the chaotic space, and you're trying to find yourself and trying to find firm ground. Really find those people. Who's that person that's there who can lean in to listen to you? Because people give you a lot of advice, but not many will listen.
Mm.
So, and find that person, and also look for careers advisors. There's many on LinkedIn. I've seen a couple good ones. Because they're adding value, and they're pretty cool. I can't say who they are.
Yeah.
But you just see them, you just observe them. So yeah, seek help. Because if you do go through that really dark periods in your life, it's really important that you do reach out for help and go and seek counselling. Because I'm not a counsellor. I'm not a professional like that. So if you are going through that really tough period, you got to reach out. You got to go out, and really important that you quiet down that inner critic. Go out there and start to be more positive and outlook. So yeah, so I do that, but also to be to have sort of the attitude to believe that you have those skills, that you can achieve what you did in your past role, but also improve it. You can get better because you'll gain those skills. If it's a job you didn't like, great. Let's just focus on the old the old 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. Take those bits there and apply it to your new role. So that's another thing as well. And so taking control of that of yourself, but also I tend to write lots in diaries. Tend to write down my thoughts. Like, dear Filipo. No, sorry, just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, you can if you want. But I just write down. I just scribble notes down. I'm a messy writer, I think, and I do a lot of mind mapping. So that's something I learned in my 30s. Mind mapping. I wish I went to high school. I would have passed more exams.
Yeah.
So yeah, mind map your life, and write down the actual what you like to do. What do you like to do? Who do you like to hang out with? Do you like working by yourself, or do you like working with teams? Who inspires you?
Nice.
Who inspires you and your family? Who are your friends? Who are some of your friends who are in the industry that you're interested in? We should reach out to them. Reach out to 5 people. Those are in those industries. Who are in your LinkedIn network, or through a friend of a friend, to try to stay connected like that. So, but yeah, always start with your inner circle, to those you trust, and then because they know what you're going through, and sometimes just stay away from family first. Sort of start out and then come back in, because family will always want to help you straight away. But it's sometimes for the, they're because it's family and they love you, they love you bits. They can just say, hey, do this. Say, oh no, because you won't like it, and after a few months you'll leave that job. So yeah, so I guess those are the sort of things you want to do, and the other thing as well. So the personal responsibility, and the second part of the framework was the proactive service. Be proactive, have that service mindset in terms of how can you help others. So, well, what can you do to help others? Because I can get like this. Sometimes we can be quite inner and selfish. It's like, oh, I need to get this for me. But then, how can you go out there to provide a service for someone? How can you help someone out there in need of your skills? If it's a teacher, or if you want to go work at a charitable trust or something,
Nice.
that's another thing you can do, volunteer your time, because time is precious, and everyone's growing older every day.
Yeah. And the other thing I know, and that I highly recommend, is if you do have challenges yourself, go and help someone else. It takes you out of your own head, gives you something to do with your time. But I love what you're saying about the 80-20 rule. Look at the things you can do. You've talked about connection and people again. That's like that. Who do you know? Who do you want to connect with? Find those people who will listen. Really important.
That's right. Yeah. So those are the sort of things I'll look at. But having the proactive mindset and that service attitude to go out there. Hey, what's in it for them?
I love it.
Them, and and once you do that, you start to, your worldview starts to open up. Yeah.
And like I say, having been in your audience, I feel that you do stand up there and you really make it, you can tell that your focus is on making it a great experience for us. So listeners, if you know anyone looking for a really entertaining but useful speaker, in that the messages are really, really strong, then do check out Filipo. I'll put his links in the show notes. But the other thing is, buy a copy of his book. It's fantastic. So we'll put a link in there for that too, because that's obviously, from what you're saying, got some of your framework in there that people can really lean into.
Yeah, listen, I do appreciate it. So, and there's most things like, what I learned is, there's two things I want to leave you with. If you're going through this change and this disruption in your life, you're being let go by your job, or you may be made redundant. Just think about it. You're not doing this by yourself. There's people here who care for you. Okay, so that's one thing, and the next point is, always trust the process. You're going through a process, so so those are the two things.
Yeah, I love it.
Process.
Yeah, I love it. And we're never alone. We're never actually alone. So thank you so much, Filipo, for being a guest on 5 a.m. Tuesday. And I really appreciate your generosity coming on here.
No worries. And we'll take care, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.